Hello everyone, let me ask you, have you ever run into something like this? Those small metal items around the house, after some time, the welded joints start to come loose or break off. Like this stainless steel cup I'm holding right now, same thing happened to it. It's actually pretty common, especially with stuff we use every day without paying much attention. If you've had the same issue, don't worry about it anymore. Let's tackle this small issue together. I've got a tray holding a little over 20 spark plugs, and in this video I'm going to pick one at random to get things started. Next, I have a single electrical wire. I'll connect one end of the wire to the threaded tip of the spark plug, and the other end to the threaded body of the plug. You know what? The method I'm using here is called the short circuit method. Simply put, it allows the electric current to take the shortest possible path between 2 points of potential difference, bypassing any other electrical loads. It's often used to quickly test whether a circuit is conducting properly or to locate a loose connection. But you've got to be careful. If done incorrectly, it can cause a short or damage the components. This is a single-phase metal connector, and it's going to serve as the link between the spark plug's threaded tip and the homemade soldering tip. I'll hold this spark plug assembly up close to the screen so you can clearly see its detailed construction. The construction is pretty simple, isn't it? If you have any difficulties, leave a comment down below. In my hand, I have a PVC pipe that's been measured to size to serve as the handle for this soldering tool. The next step is to drill a hole just big enough in the pipe to secure the threaded body of the spark plug. This single electrical wire will connect the power source to our soldering device by attaching one end to the ground electrode of the spark plug, and the other end will be dealt with later. The other end of the wire, I'll attach a crocodile clip to connect it to the positive terminal of the power source. To make a homemade soldering tip, we can't do without this AA battery. I'll use the inner core of the battery to create a simple soldering tip. Why is this reasonable? From a professional standpoint, the core of an AA battery is a metal rod that conducts electricity well, and when current passes through it, it can generate heat up to around 200 to 250 degrees Celsius. This temperature is enough to melt solder while still being safe for small-scale experiments. It's convenient, easy to work with, and effective for mini DIY soldering projects at home. When using pliers to pull out the battery core, take it slow and gentle. The core is thin and fragile, so handling it carefully will help prevent it from breaking. Then I'll wipe the carbon core lightly to remove some of the conductive powder sticking to it, ensuring the soldering process goes smoothly and avoiding any potential issues. Sharpening one end of the battery core not only makes it look like a soldering tip but also focuses the heat at the contact point, allowing the solder to melt quickly and the joint to be precise. Now, I'm going to attach the soldering tip to the other end of the connector, forming a complete assembly. I also made a connection for the negative terminal using a wire with crocodile clips on both ends. This completes the circuit, allowing the current to return to the power source, ensuring the soldering device works steadily and safely. Here, I'm using a small battery with suitable specifications as the power source for the device. The reason for choosing this type is that it provides enough current and voltage, while being compact and safe for small DIY soldering experiments at home. As you can see, touching the two terminals generates heat. I'll do a few small examples before fixing the cup. Let's experience it together. Those small tests didn't pose any challenge, so now we'll move on to fixing the stainless steel cup handle from the beginning of the video, so you can follow each step clearly. Alright, that's done. Now I'll perform a few simple tests to check the strength of the solder joint. It's pretty solid, so now we can use it normally. Overall, with a bit of patience, careful handling, and following the steps precisely, you can definitely DIY repair and make the most of small devices at home safely and effectively. I hope this video gives you some useful tips to try out yourself. If you found it helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss the next interesting tutorials.